Welcome to the Pressbox, presented by the Permian Basin Youth Football League.
Time to play the game!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the PBYFL Pressbox. Who are you?
I'm Mario.
And I'm still Matt. And we're going to go over, recap our games of the week from last week. I always let you go first. Age before beauty, right? So
That's right. That's right. I am the ageless wonder. So anyway, last week I went with the Buffaloes and the Pecos Eagles, Stanton Buffaloes and the Pecos Eagle flag teams, flag game. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe I selected the Buffaloes. I chose the Buffaloes to win that game. I'm pretty sure I did. And the reason I say that is because
They didn't.
they didn't. We had an upset. I'm going to call it an upset. Because the week prior, Stanton knocked off the Andrews Mustangs flag. And this was our aha moment with Clater last week, and we all changed our selections, and it bit us. So, congrats to the Pecos Eagles and Flag for really messing up all of our predictions in a good way. Good job, guys. Congrats, and good luck this week.
Who did I have? Oh, Panthers, Gators, JV. I was right. Gators came out and just really underperformed. Panthers won. It wasn't the high scoring game I thought it was going to be. It was an 8-0 game. I was there for the first half. It was interesting to watch. A lot of talent on the field. I expected more points on the board, but I guess, like you like to say, defense wins championships, but it makes for a boring game to watch. But Panthers won, so we'll give them their due.
Okay, we're going to move on to our D1 predictions for this week. And our first matchup is going to be the Gators versus the Patriots / Midland Christian Mustangs. And we're going to skip the flag.
Good call. Good call.
Again, it'll be a Gators 1-0 win. Is that right?
Go Gators.
Go Gators. Boom. Easiest win he'll get. All right, moving on to the freshmen. So that would be the Gators versus the Pecos Patriots. And in that game, again, I think we touched on it. They fired out of the gates and have fizzled a little bit. So I don't think that being the last game of the season, I don't think they're going to recoup from that. So I think the Gators win that one.
Yeah. Well, I don't think so. Because I think the Gators have done the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got, they've got Messiah Hogan over there with the Gators, but that's about it. The Mustangs, they have Jermichael.
Mm-hmm.
They have Avion. They have those two. Well, they have Brady Treadwell, too, the quarterback. Too many weapons. Gators haven't done anything to show me that they're up for it. And the Mustangs, well, yeah, we'll go Mustangs.
Going Mustangs.
Patriots.
Yeah, Patriots, that's right. All right, now, moving forward, we'll be talking about the Mustangs, Midland Christian Mustangs. Gators versus the Midland Christian Mustangs, JV, and that one, as you all know,
Circle that one on your calendar.
I am going to continue my support for the Midland Christian Mustangs, JV, the aerial assault, weapons of mass production.
Good stuff.
Midland Christian Mustangs, JV, take that one.
Yeah. You got Jackson Franco airing it out to KJ Miller. You have Nathan Valencia on the line throwing bodies around like there's, I don't know.
Potato sacks.
Potato sacks. Yeah, we'll go with potato sacks. Well, yeah, the Mustangs, too much for the Gators. I think Gators coming off a low-scoring affair.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they're going to, they might put some points on the board, but I think the Mustangs' passing attack is going to be too much for them. So I've got Mustangs taking that game as well.
Okay, so in the varsity matchup, now, I've had some information sort of kind of given to me. And I'm still on the fence on this. So as we've discussed, you know, the Gators have been banged up most of the season, but that time has passed. Injuries have healed, wounds have healed. I think that a majority of those Gators, from what I understand, are going to be back, minus a rotator cuff, which is going to put him out for the season, their stud running back. I'm going to stick with the Midland Christian Mustangs. I mean, I'm gonna be curious to see how good all those injured players are that come back. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Stick to it.
Okay.
I go to matchups. You look at the matchup between the Mustangs and the Oilers. It was 14-8 game. You look at the matchup between the Gators and the Oilers, and it was, I mean, young children couldn't watch that game. It was bad. So I've got Ricky Spiller and his Mustangs coming out and doing their thing. I think Spiller's son is the quarterback on that team. I've heard good things about him. Don't know a lot of other names on there, but I'm sure we will after this week. So I've got Mustangs this week.
Ooh. Alrighty.
Go hard, go hard, go home, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go home. Let's go, let's go, let's get it, let's get it.
Our next matchup, big matchup, so big we made it on the table. You got the Mojo and America's team. You got the P and the star. Well, the claw marks and the star. The really big paw prints.
Yes.
Anyway, I
Huge.
digress.
There you go.
You've got big games coming up. 3 big games.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start with our flag division. I'm going to take this one. Panthers, Tucker Herd, ball game.
Okay. And if you really do look at my notes, there are squiggly marks all over the place. There's a check here, then there's a squiggly. Check here, then there's a squiggly. Then there's a check. So, I have been on the Herd bandwagon all season. I have. I have been.
Abandoned ship.
And it pains me to say this. I just don't think that Herd alone can handle Chooch and gang this week.
It's not just Chooch.
It's not. That's
You
what I
got
mean.
Ryder Jones. Ryder Jones got MVP last week.
I mean, there's going to be multiple weapons in this thing. And like I said, there's a lot of squiggly marks. But at the end, when the dust settles, Cowboys win by 1.
By 1
1 point.
1 point.
No, it's. I think it's going to be close.
No, I don't even have it close. I got the Panthers winning by 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns.
Trace.
Trace?
Trace.
Look, now he's by literal all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm. I'll little.
Okay.
All right, and the freshman division. Yeah. You go ahead.
Well, this one, from
Yeah.
what I understand, is going to be a battle of the unbeatens thus far, correct?
Yeah.
Both unbeaten. No one scored on these guys, either one of them, if I'm not mistaken. No?
I think you're mistaken.
Am I mistaken? All right. Different.
Squiggle that out.
Squiggle that out too? All right. Anyway, battle of the unbeatens, last week of the season, going into the playoffs. And yes, again, I'm abandoning my boys. I call them my boys because I love them to death. But I really do believe that when you line up a sizzle versus a herd, something's going to happen. And,
Yeah.
And I'm going to go with sizzle.
I
think the Cowboys pull this one out too.
I can't believe you.
I know.
I mean, I got Cowboys too, but I can't believe you.
Well,
And the reason being,
we'll have ice cream afterwards.
that's cool. I'm down.
Okay.
Okay, so you take J.C. Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
You take Tate Hurd.
Yes.
Cancel them out. 2 good players cancel each other out.
Okay.
You take Ced Thomas, Big Mike Jimenez.
Okay.
I think it goes to Cowboys side. You
Keep going.
You take
Jordan High.
Jordan High.
Then who do you put up on that?
You don't.
There
And you
you
got
go.
Max Sotelo on the line.
No, actually, he went up. Max, Big Max.
He went up.
Oh yeah.
Are we sure?
And he's doing well in JV.
He did go up.
He is. He's continued history.
Okay, well,
So I'm just
either
saying,
way.
you weigh it out, and it does this in the Cowboys' favor,
Well,
in my opinion.
here's the thing. I played these Cowboys last year, and we had Rufus McCann's boy,
Mhm.
Caden. We had Braden Britton. We had Isaac Solis at quarterback. On the flip side of the ball, they had Big Mike.
Mhm.
They had JC. They had Max Sotelo
He was mixed
with them.
with
Then they
Max
had
as
another
well.
big, huge lineman. I can't remember his name. Once those players start canceling each other out, then you go to coaching styles.
Correct.
I think the coaching goes to the Cowboys based on what I've seen. Not a knock against the Panthers, but
You got to call it one way or the other.
yeah,
You do.
Cowboys.
So, I mean, so you got the Cowboys winning?
I got the Cowboys winning.
Cowboys winning.
I think the Cowboys get scored on.
There you go. I
I
like
think,
that
I
prediction.
think I think the Panthers make a run, but I think I don't know. I just
It's
JC
tough. It's
JC's a
gonna
lot
be-
to stop.
This is going to be a good game. It's going to be a game to watch. And I'm pretty sure we'll talk about that later.
And there's another big game right after that.
Would it happen to be the Cowboys and Panthers? JV?
That's the rumor.
Oh, well, there you go.
So in that game, you've got Jace Dixon on one side, Josh Curry, Braylon Curry on the other side, Fat Kirkwood, Peyton Ross,
No.
Zachel Harris. A lot of weapons, but again, you got to balance it
building
out
this out,
and
yeah.
start canceling people out. Cowboys with Jace Dixon, they've got what's that quarterback's
Big
name?
Max is over there. He's going to be on the line.
Malachi Mendoza, the quarterback. Max Sotelo on the line.
Mhm.
I've got Cowboys again, but again, I've got a closer game. I think they give the Cowboys a lot better game than the Gators did.
There you go. I agree. Everything you said about the Cowboys, and same with the Panthers. We can put names down on paper and scratch this one out on both sides, and at the end. But as we all know, on any given Saturday,
Yeah.
anybody can
Anybody can be a
beat anybody.
Pegasus Eagles against the Stand Buffalo's flag.
That's right. So
I know there's going to be some people watching this shaking their head
I know,
at our predictions, but
but we've got to make them,
Yeah.
and we're either gonna be right or we're gonna be wrong.
and I'm right more than you. But this time, we
Yes.
agree. So
Just if you need to call and complain, my number is 432. What's your number?
we'll post it on the thing later.
There you go.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a good Saturday. These matchups and these two organizations,
It's going to be a rowdy Saturday.
it's going to be fun to watch. This organization day, it's going to be fun.
But
So
they have to
Cowboys.
they have to play another game.
That's right. All right. Moving on to varsity.
Moving on to varsity.
Let's duke that one out.
There's. Go ahead.
I mean, again, you have two. Here's the thing. I'm thinking about now. You got two Odessa teams.
Mhm.
All of them are fishing in the same pool.
Mhm.
Everyone's basically got talented kids on both sides.
Mhm.
Got coaching staffs, traditions. I mean, and now both of these teams have finally got it all together at every level, from flag up to varsity, and they are literally duking it out for the I don't know what you want to call it, inner city bragging
This
rights.
is bragging rights at this
You know,
point.
at this point, and
It's a lot of seeding in the lower area
Correct.
divisions. I think where they differ though is the Cowboys are top heavy. Their varsity, their JV, and their freshmen are really, really, really good. Their flag it's good, but
It's coming along.
It's coming along.
mhm.
You take the Panthers, flag's really good, freshman's really good, JV's really good, their varsity's struggling.
Correct.
So, whereas I think the Panthers start the day with the win, that's where it is.
I think so. I think I got the Cowboys. This one is an easier decision, in my opinion, of the two matchups, of the four matchups. The middle of the road, freshman JV, man, don't give me splitting hairs. I did. I'm going to live with that, I'm sure.
I'll remind you later.
I know.
But, Josiah Long, they got a kid over there, Biscuit, Zacavion Wright. Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Cowboys, and then we're done.
That's it. There's no senior varsity. This is it.
No muss.
All right. That's enough.
Go home, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go home. Let's go, let's go, let's get it, let's get it. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you with it? Yeah, we with it. Let's go, let's go, let's get it, let's get it. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you with it?
All right, moving on. We've got the Midland Rebels. Big man, huh? Odessa Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're going to start out in the flag division.
Yes.
You know what? Let's throw the whole world topsy-turvy.
Oh, topsy-turvy.
We're going varsity division.
Okay, okay.
Who you got?
I've got the Rebels. I have the Rebels, and I'd have to look at my notes to tell you why, but I'm going to go with the Rebels based off of the fact that Seahawks have not, as of yet, this year, done enough to merit my vote.
Wow, you really drew that out.
I did. I was reaching for big words,
It's dramatic, I like.
but couldn't find it.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Easy
varsity. I've got the Rebels.
Mhm.
They got a kid over there. What's his name? Vondavius Wright.
You've been waiting to say that, haven't you?
I've been practicing.
There you go.
Vondavius Wright. And I heard from Pablo. Me and Pablo talked about him. David Baltazar played him last week. Had a lot of good things to say about this kid. I think a kid that can take control of a game like that is a lot to handle for a really good team. A team that's struggling to find their identity and hasn't yet hit their stride is going to have a whole world of issues.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got the Rebels taking that ball game on the capable hands of Vondavius Wright.
Okay.
JV.
JV. A lot of the same as far as, if I'm not mistaken, again, looking at my handy-dandy, sometimes wrong cheat sheet.
Why is it so big?
So I'm going to go with the JV Rebels pulling this one off. Seahawks still, I'm looking at numbers that are a couple weeks old, but I don't believe, unless y'all can tell me otherwise, the Seahawks have won a game yet. So the JV, unfortunately, I think that unfortunate streak continues, and the Rebels beat them.
Yeah. Hyde McNutt on offense.
Mhm.
Will Ellis on defense. Rebels win.
Rebels, so far.
So, all right, we got Rebels. We'll go to, no freshmen. Seahawks going to take that one.
There you go. 1-0 Seahawks. Go Seahawks.
All right, getting that big W.
Okay, there it is.
Flag division.
Sticking with the Rebels. I'm sticking with the Rebels because, again, I don't know what's going on over there, but per my records, I'm not seeing any victories as of 2 weeks ago. Has anything changed?
It's very updated.
I know.
We have a website. We have a website where we have the postings, or the standings posted.
Yes.
Excuse me. So, just that little tidbit of information.
But I'm old, and I still print things on paper because I'm old.
Got it. Well, I've got Rebels too because they're better.
There you go. And apparently, this just in,
Breaking
Seahawks
news.
flag has won a game.
Have they?
So there's that.
We got a source, huh?
We got a source.
Got a source. All right. Well, one win's not going to be helping
Well,
them.
Yes, that's correct. Matt. Still Matt.
Still mad. Still confused.
All righty.
We done?
Did you pick?
I picked.
All right. I got Rebels in a sweep.
Sweep.
Big time players make big time plays. Big time players make big time plays. Big time players make big time plays. Go hard, 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 go hard. 'Cause big time players.
Okay. Moving on to Division II, and our first matchup is going to be the Compass Cougars coming to town. They're going to go to Andrews, and we'll start with the flag showdown. And I personally am pitting Mr. Bishop against Mr. Gavin Smiley.
Okay.
Been waiting for it, talked about it. I'm excited about it. I hope everyone else is excited about it, but
I know your defensive coordinator ain't excited about it.
he's not excited about it. He's excited about the opportunity.
Okay.
And we've talked about ways to contain Mr. Bishop, so we'll see if it works, see if we put him into play. Coach Dimitri and Coach Dillon over there, they're going to have their hands full with that one individual, Mr. Bishop. My opinion, which hadn't happened yet this season, he who contains Bishop first wins.
Right.
Checkmate. See what I did there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mustangs win. Contain Bishop.
So you've got a plan to contain Bishop.
That's the plan.
Do you have a plan to get, catch Bigfoot on camera? Find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow?
After I catch Bishop.
You probably have better luck.
Yeah.
Bishop's probably going to run around with Bigfoot getting gold at the rainbow. He's going to be getting a lot of touchdowns. I got the Cougars winning this game simply for the fact that when when the Mustangs lost to the Buffaloes, wasn't a big deal. Everybody has those sneak-up games. And then the Buffaloes lose to the Eagles, and you get kind of thinking, is it a fluke, or is it there was a weakness there? What's going on? Nobody's really found that with these Cougars. You know, the Gators beat them in the first game of the season, and they've kind of
woke up.
Yeah, they woke
the
up.
beast.
And that, a lot of that is due to Jalen Bishop getting 4 or 5 touchdowns a game. I know he's got great players around him, but you look at the one that's putting the points on the board, and he'll continue that this week. I'm sure Mama Bishop's going to send us some tape this week. So,
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Mr. Highlight Reel, put him up there.
That's
So
true.
I got Cougars winning that game. You got Mustangs.
Yes,
Then we get into the freshman division.
we do.
That's you
That is us.
and Mr. Harshberger, Kevin Harshberger,
Yes, Mr. Harshberger. I look forward to shaking his hand and.
beating his kids,
Well, I'm not.
beating his team.
I'm not gonna. Yeah. Well, I mean, yes. I mean, however you want to put it, they will get to meet the icebox.
That kid's
They-
fast.
He is.
He outran one of
He
my
is.
running backs at practice the other night.
He is deceivingly fast.
No, it's not just, it's just fast.
Well, I mean, you look at him, you're like, I got this, and then, oh, wait a minute, I don't.
And then when you do catch it, what do you do with it?
I don't know. But you got Icebox, you've got Austin De La Cruz, you've got Camden, Camo Aguilar over there. You've got Bobby Boucher, Adrian Garcia. I
You
mean,
don't really call him that?
we do. I've got nicknames for them all, you know that.
Yeah, I do.
And it's fun to yell out all these nicknames, but at the same time, nobody knows what we're talking about, except for the inner circle. So anyway, I believe that we continue. We're going to try to continue. And when I say continue, the shutout. We're going to try to,
Well, there's not going to be, no.
we're going to keep them, we're going to try to keep them, hold them to 0 at home. Last game of the season. Believe you me, we're bringing it.
Okay.
It's coming.
I agree with you. I got Mustangs winning that game. For all the names you mentioned, and then some, and then the fact that it is home, it's your last home game, and Cougars, they're hit and miss like some of these other teams in these divisions. So I've got Mustangs winning. So we'll move on into the junior varsity division, which is my house.
That's your house.
I don't know a whole lot about the Mustang or the Cougars JV. I don't. I've heard they're solid in areas and there's some soft spots, but whatever the case may be, a healthy Tommy Evans and a healthy cast of characters around him is going to help the Mustangs finish the regular season undefeated and go into the playoffs as a top seed. No need to elaborate on that on my end because the tape speaks for itself.
There you go. I mean, and that's very true. I mean, we watched Superman, Tommy the Gun, Evans, literally just mow down defenses, inside, outside, 99 yards here, punt, return, whatever he wants to do, he basically does.
And it leads the team in tackles too.
There you go. So you got him on both sides of the ball. I don't know much about the Cougars, but I'm sure that the Cougars have heard enough about the gun. So when Tommy comes, they're going to have to prepare for that somehow. And I don't think that you can prepare enough for a Tommy Evans and cast. So
our other running back's coming back off a pretty significant illness, so hopefully he bounces back full strength. But that's my take on that. Mustangs are going to win the JV division, and then the good times end.
I agree.
Because you got to play that varsity game.
You've got to. And of varsity teams that are coming to town, this is a big one. This is
Literally and figuratively.
I mean, it's that's what I'm talking about. Size, width. I mean, these guys are not small. And you know, Coach Mike over there, I don't know how you prepare for that because I don't think he's seen anything that size, that talented coming at you.
I think the closest comparison is their game against the Steers or the Oilers, and we saw how those turned out.
That's correct. And sorry. I mean, like I said, I call them like I see them. Yes, I live there, but at the end of the day, it would be a major upset if they pulled that off. I don't think they will. Cougars win, I believe, easily.
He's gotta get it in a big time way. Let's get it on the grind, head on the line. Gotta stay focused, gotta keep a sound mind. Let's go hard or go home. Go long and go strong. Don't back down or give in. When it's tough, that's when we press on. Gotta dig deep, gotta dig in. Hunger for the victory, hunger for the win. Ready to make a play, let's get it in. Swag on point, yeah, swag on 10. It's go time, it's show time, it's my time in my town. Big time players make big time.
We have a real slugfest between the Broncos and the Buffaloes. You got a friendly rivalry, but a rivalry nonetheless. Joe DeLeon bringing his Buffaloes to square out. Well, actually, Adam Valencia's bringing his Broncos to Stanton to square off with Joe DeLeon's Buffaloes. Again, a friendly rivalry, but we all know that Cahoma, Stanton, there's a little bit of blood there. So we'll start with the flag division, and I've got Buffaloes riding that roller coaster.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Riding that, they're due for the uphill, so I got the Buffaloes taking the Broncos flag. You know, after their maybe their game against the Mustangs, they were just kind of riding high, and the Eagles snuck up on them. We'll see what the real Buffaloes team is this week, though.
Correct.
We'll see the real Buffaloes team, and I think they beat the Broncos. You?
I agree. I mean, they came off of a high, beating the Mustangs, and then who knows? Like you said, was it a fluke? Did they let their guard down? You know, thinking that they were on top of the world, and then the Eagles snuck up and get them. That's 2 weeks of. Did the Mustangs do everything they needed to? Obviously didn't that day.
Right.
Did the Buffaloes do everything they needed to against the Eagles? They didn't, obviously. Now, does that say that any of those three teams are horrible teams? No, but at this point, at this juncture, last week, I believe the Buffaloes continue. I mean, I honestly think they're a solid team. I think the Eagles snuck up on them for whatever reason, but I believe the Buffaloes flag takes this game.
Freshman division, I've got the Buffaloes taking that game as well. Wes Moreno, Angel Lechuga. You got another kid over there. Who am I thinking of?
Santiago. You got Santiago over there, and then you also got, what's his name? Number 55. 44, Santiago. 55 is another big kid. Hinojosa.
A lot of good kids.
Jay. I think it's Jay.
A lot of good kids. Nothing to say against the Broncos. You know, I feel like we pick against them week in and week out.
Right.
But there again, you know, they beat. Who did they play last week? The Cougars?
Broncos?
Yeah. No, Pecos. Did they play Pecos?
No, Pecos
Cougars?
played the Buffaloes.
This just in, they played the Cougars.
Oh.
And they won. And we said last week, you know, to get not be slept on in this league and on this show, you got to beat somebody. Well, the Cougars are somebody. The Cougars got a decent squad, but you got to be consistently good. And while the Broncos did show up, showed out, played really well, Coach Walters got them playing hard over there. Great squad. They have Padilla, lineman, 74.
Yep.
Great lineman. But you stack that up against what all the Buffaloes have on their side. I got the Buffaloes winning a very good, very close game.
I agree. I mean, I'm very impressed with that Angel Lechuga over there, that little kid, number 5. Do not don't take your eyes off that kid. You need to know where he's at all times because he will go all Ronnie Lott on you.
Oh, I want that.
That's old. But anyway, he'll take your head clean off. No pun intended. So I believe that I also believe the Buffaloes will take the Broncos in this matchup.
Okay. Then we get into the JV division. I've got a flip. I've got the Broncos with Xavier Ruiz. Yeah, I got the Broncos winning that one. It's going to be close. You know, they got Joe Angel over there for the Buffaloes.
They do.
He's a run stopper in the middle. A lot of what the Broncos do is around the end. And, you know, when we played them, that's where we got them was around the end. Maybe they learned from that. I don't know. But I've got the Broncos taking that ball game.
I have the Buffaloes taking that one. You got Mason. I think it's Mason Martinez over there. And, yes, you have Joe Angel. I mean, you have to plan for that. And when he occupies so much of the middle in a good way, I mean, that boy, he owns his turf. He owns that area, 3, 4, 5 yards radius. He's solid. So the Broncos are going to have to go to the outsides. Can they successfully? I don't know. I'm going to go with Buffaloes.
Okay. So we move on to the varsity division.
Mm-hmm.
Watching the Buffaloes a few weeks back, really impressed with how they spread the ball around. They have what is his name? Travis Palomo on the offensive line, just moving bodies right and left.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Broncos have a fairly decent team. It's just they are not putting up numbers like they should, and Stanton is. So
Yeah.
in this particular matchup, I've got the Buffaloes. Buffaloes winning pretty big.
Getting that one. I agree with you. Buffaloes. You got Isaiah DeLeon over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking to
Matthew
Joe.
Nichols.
Yeah, I'm talking
Matthew
to Joe.
Nichols.
He's got that Isaiah kid who he believes should be running the ball as a running back. And they have a need at the quarterback position, so they put him in there. That kid's an athlete, so I think he can do what he needs to do for the team. And at the end of the day, Buffaloes pull it off.
Yeah, Matthew Nichols over there, that kid, I've seen him take the ball on handoffs. I've seen him catch the ball in stride down the field.
Yeah.
He's a weapon wherever he's at, and it's hard to account for a kid that they can line him up anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And you as a defensive coordinator, you're trying to tell your kids, hey, follow this kid, follow that kid. But if they're constantly moving him around and putting him in motion and doing all these things, that's confusing. Yeah, he's going to find that mismatch, and it only takes one.
Yeah.
It only takes one, and then the wheels fall off, the defense gets discouraged, and then they have a field day. So
There you go.
I'm with you. Buffaloes are going to take varsity.
Big time players make big time plays. Big time players make big time plays. Big time players make big time plays. Go hard, 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 go hard. 'Cause big time players.
Okay, the last matchup for the day is going to be the Greenwood Rangers versus the Pecos Eagles. And we'll jump right into the flag. Me personally, we've been talking about this roller coaster with the Mustangs, the Buffaloes, the Eagles, and everything that's transpired over the last couple, 2-3 weeks. And I think that the Rangers will be next to jump up and sneak up on the Eagles. Calling that a sneak. A little sneak. Rangers take the Eagles.
I don't have that. I have the Eagles taking the Rangers. There again, you know, the Eagles are up and down. They are coming off a big win against the Buffaloes team that, you know, a lot of us thought after that Mustangs game, okay, maybe this team is going to rise to the top. Well, that rise was short-lived.
Correct.
So who wears the crown now? You got the Eagles running high. Let's see if they can carry that momentum instead of letting the game sneak up on them, build on it. So I've got the Eagles winning that game against a really tough Rangers team. But I'll take momentum all day long.
All right. Moving on to the freshman matchup. Like I said, I think we've dealt with both of these teams, and of the two teams, based on what we saw, I believe that there's more firepower and more defense in Greenwood in the freshman division than there is over on the Eagles side. So I'm going to give this one as well to the freshmen.
Okay. Well, freshman division, I have the Rangers. Very salty little squad. Eagles freshman has not done a whole lot in my book to, I'm not sure what their record is, but I know it's not great. I mean, really neither one of these teams have had a phenomenal year, but I think the Rangers are, they're due. So I'm going to give the Rangers the edge in that game. So I have, yeah, I'm going to stick with it. Rangers.
Rangers. Okay, moving into the JV. And I'm just going straight off records and what I remember. Again, this is your realm. You've dealt with both these guys, but me personally, I think that I don't remember their names, but that quarterback receiving tandem out there in Pecos was it pleasant? Was it?
Wasn't easy.
There you go. So of the two, I'm going with the Eagles in this one.
I've got the Eagles as well. Like the little phrase we coined earlier, weapons of mass production.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Tadine at quarterback, you have Correa, you have Acosta, you have, who else? Ramirez, you have Braden Britton. I mean, just, who do you cover?
Yeah.
And when we were talking earlier about, okay, well, this player cancels out this player, well, there ain't enough players on the Ranger bench to cancel all that out. So Barrett Mustin he's a man-child. The kid plays 10 times bigger than he is, and he's going to need to have a phenomenal game. But even then, Rangers.
He can't do it. I don't think he can do it by himself.
I mean, Doc Holliday didn't go to the OK Corral by himself. He had people with him. He's going by himself.
Went all Doc Holliday on me. All right.
Just saying.
I like it. All right. Varsity. Varsity game. I, on paper, have the Rangers, but I think I'm going to retract that one because
You squiggling it out?
I'm squiggling it out. Literally, I'm squiggle that out, and I'm gonna move it to the Eagles. And I'm going off of what I've seen and what I remember. I know a certain team blanked the Rangers, but at the same time, I know a certain team beat a certain team. So based on those certain
It's really
things,
vague.
I'm gonna go with a certain win for the Eagles. Brought that full circle.
I don't even really know how to follow that, but I'll try. So, you got me speechless.
Come on, man.
Okay.
Keep up.
Eagles, Omar Salgado is a phenomenal athlete, hard to take down, flies all over the field, tackles anything that moves. He's a Tommy Evans in a few years. He's that kind of game-changing athlete.
Mm-hmm.
They say, games are won in the trenches. You look on the other side, you have Jaden Colbert for the Rangers, big body kid, up for some pretty, hefty hardware at the end of the year if he keeps playing the way he's playing. But this game's not going to be won in the trenches. This game's going to be won on the legs of Omar Salgado, and the Eagles are going to take the win.
Alrighty, that sums up your Division 2.
Go home, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go home. 'Cause big time players make big time plays. No pressure, no fear. I'ma rise up and I'ma shine here. 'Cause the time is now and I'ma make a stand. I'ma let them know just what I am. I'm a beast, I'm a monster, and I can't.
All right, now it's the finale. It's everybody's second or third favorite part of the show. Games of the week. Special effects included. I've got the Gators junior varsity against the Mustangs junior varsity. You got ground and pound versus air assault. I called it earlier, so it's going to be no surprise. I got Mustangs winning this game. Going to be fun. Going to be good to watch. But man, Gators, y'all got to get it together. I mean, I don't know what it was, but to get shut out at home, I don't know. And then you have to recoup against a very good Mustangs team. Nathan Valencia's got that team firing on all cylinders. Healthy. KJ Miller, what was it? Jackson Franco, Nathan Valencia on the line. Mustangs. Are we doing scores? Are we doing scores?
If you
Feeling
want,
proud?
I don't
We got to
think
pull it full circle.
I don't think we've confirmed our scores in recent, but throw it out there.
I'll
We
throw it
always
out
go
there.
look at the tape and check them out.
18-6.
18-6. Mustangs. You saying that the weapons of mass production are only going to put up 18?
The Gators have a good defense.
Which
they're gonna
wins championships. Okay, but that's all right.
It's got to win the game of the week. And
Okay.
they're going to be on the field a lot.
Mucho. All right. My game of the week is going to be the freshmen, Panthers, and the Cowboys. These two teams, like we discussed, you put them on paper. This one outmatches, duels this one, vice versa, all the way down the lineups. And I believe it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch, But in the end, let's take all the players out of the way and just line up them coaches. And I believe that the Panthers coach will get out coached. And Mr. Chuck will beat the Panthers.
Okay.
I mean, you can run Hurd all day. You can run Sizzle all day. Big Mike all day. I mean, you can just go down, 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 down. In the end, who called the right plays? Who figured out the chinks in the armor on the opposing teams? And I believe that Coach Chuck and his crew will figure that out quicker than.
It's the best dang 7U in West Texas.
It is what it is.
There's another word, but it's a kid-friendly show.
That's correct. So, I believe the Cowboys pull this one off. Coach Chuck and staff there they'll figure it out quicker than the Panthers will, unfortunately. But this is not the last you will see of these two teams.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. Round 2 coming soon.
All right.
3 weeks,
3 weeks.
to be exact.
Full circle.
Full circle.
Done.
So of this game and my work is my art. So watch me paint a picture as I highlight my ways. Cause big time players make big time plays. 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 Big time players make big.
Wrapping up, a lot of the playoff picture is becoming a little bit more clear. The teams, we know what teams are really good. What we've talked about a lot during the season, though, is individual players. We've spotlighted players and put those players, drop names, put them on highlight tapes for the top 10 plays. But November 8th at Crossroads Church is when those players are really going to shine. November 8th, we have our PBYFL Awards Banquet, where we're going to recognize overall MVPs, offensive MVPs, defensive MVPs, and the big boys down on the line, Lineman of the Year.
Ooh,
We'll also be
the
hitting
Hogs.
the Hogs. We'll also be hitting the Coach of the Year. So it's going to be a great night. We're going to have some great food. I think it'll be a good time for these boys to actually get their chance to shine in the spotlight. Parents, take lots of pictures.
Away from the grid.
Away from the
This
grid.
is all about the boys.
And they're going to take some hardware home. So November 8th, Crossroads Church. Be there.
See you there.
All right, we have another great event coming up. December 14th and 15th is our Duel in the Desert 4th annual. If I'm not mistaken, 4th annual Duel in the Desert. Yeah, all that.
Mm-hmm.
This year, the format is different. Last time, in years past, all comers come in, take anybody that wants to sign up. Well, there's been a lot of back and forth this year about the best teams in this area.
Woo.
So what we've done is we've reached out to some of the best teams in this area.
Mhm.
We've reached out to the top teams in D1, PBYFL, all divisions, D2, all divisions. We've reached out to Taifa West Texas. We've reached out to Taifa El Paso. We're trying to get all these teams to come in, go to one place and battle it out, and finally settle all this nonsense that we see on Facebook and all this back and forth, who's the best. Get on the field and play.
Let's do it.
We've invited the coaches. It's invite only, fall rosters only, no add-ons. Settle it.
That's exciting. I really am excited for that. There has been a lot of talk about who is the best, pound for pounds, and all this good stuff. It's showtime.
Yeah. You can put it on paper all day. Put it on the field, see who wins.
Let's go.
And the
Let's do it.
rings, we've already got the rings designed. I think the kids will really get a kick out of those. So it's going to be a great event. One of the longest running tournaments in this area.
Mhm.
We've just made it better.
Can't wait.
All right.
Okay, another event that we're excited to announce is going to be our tournament spring series, or our spring tournament series. We're gonna kick that off first of next year. Now, different from the Duel in the Desert is where we open this one up to
Anyway.
all-stars. Yeah, you can build you a squad and all that good stuff. And it's going to be 4 tournaments. And if I'm not mistaken, from what we did last year, as you go through these tournaments, you accumulate points. And at the end of the day, at the end of the tournament series, we crown a champion.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So we're excited to announce that I believe we've got some temporary locations. So don't hold me to them. But as of now, we've got 1 in Midland, 2 in Midland, 1 in Abilene.
Win the surprise.
And dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
The grand finale. The big one. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I hope I'm there. Frisco, Texas. This place, have you ever heard of it? Being a Raiders fan, you'd be like, I guess not. But it's here in Texas, it's a big deal. It's called the
Alamo.
the Star. Okay? I'm not referring to the West Texas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys practice facility. Indoor.
The big show.
The same place where those Pro Bowl athletes, those legendary Tom Landrys, and all of that is there. Oh my goodness, I can't wait! It's going to be at the Star. So, we hope. Don't hold me to any of this. We've got some things to work out, but
For all those non-fangirls out there, it is a really nice venue. All right, we're not all going to get all giddy when we walk in, but it's a great field. Kids are going to love it.
yeah.
Indoors, don't got to worry about the wind blowing, the cold, the heat, the whatever, because it never fails. Those that were the tournaments last year. We need to take a moment of silence for how many canopies lost their lives in
That
the
or
course of the
the
tournament.
sub-zero temperatures we played in.
So, big news. A lot of work still to do, but always got to keep raising the bar. Tournament series is going to be legit. Lit, like the kids
Isn't
say.
that what they say?
Lit.
I don't even know what that means, but they say it
It's
a
going
lot.
to be really cool.
It's
Really
gonna be
neat.
100.
It's going to be neat.
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 All right.
Cool.
Fire in the hole. Let her rip, tater chip.
Tater chip.
And if you can play it, it's all about pay. Who's gonna make it? I am the game, you don't wanna play me. I am control, no way you can shake me. I am heavy debt, no way you can pay me. I am the pain, and I know you can't take me. Look over your shoulder, ready to run like a Cleveland bench from a smoking gun. I am the game, and I make the rules. So move on out here and die like a fool. Trying to figure out what my move's gonna be. Come on over, sucker, why don't you ask me? Don't you forget there's a price you can pay. 'Cause I am the game and I